That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, let's continue our conversation of the players that you need to make sure are in your starting lineup in week 11. This time we are going to talk about the wide receivers. And guys, before we get into the video, I need a massive favor for y'all. Y'all know every single video that I make for you is based off of your recommendations, off of what you go down there, drop a like on, of what you tell me you want in the comments. So please go to the comment section of this video. Let me know what you would like me to talk about that I have not already discussed this week. Also, I will be taking recommendations of stuff y'all would like me to discuss during the live streams. Just anything that y'all want to hear, I want to discuss. Also, I think we are going to be creating another channel, just a channel about myself. I know y'all really liked the NFL Combine video. I think we're going to be doing more fun stuff like that, but I don't want to be uploading it here on the Fantasy Football channel just because I don't want to be giving y'all content that you don't care of. So yeah, if you have any ideas, if you want to see me do a food challenge, an exercise challenge, just anything, a daily vlog, go down to the comment section. Let me know what you would like to see, and I will try my best to get it done. Okay, so let's get into this video, and let's talk about 5 wide receivers that need to be in our starting lineup in week 11. And let's start it off with Michael Thomas. Guys, here with Michael Thomas, I know he has been so frustrating, and I have just been wrong with him week over week over week. Ever since week 5, I went out there and labeled him as a buy low candidate for us. I didn't like him coming into the fantasy football season just because he was going in a range of the draft where we were really significantly investing into running backs, where I didn't really want to be drafting Michael Thomas. But I thought coming off of his ankle injury, he was going to be a locked and loaded top 3 wide receiver right away. Clearly, that has not happened. He suffered a setback with his hamstring injury, then comes back-to-back performances where he did not look like himself. I mean, it looks like a completely different wide receiver than what we got in 2019, where he was setting records. And I'll say here, guys, I know a lot of people are worried about Jameis Winston. Personally, I am not. I know I've said this in a couple videos now. I've talked about it a lot during the live streams. But with Jameis Winston, he is definitely going to be a downgrade at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. But going up against the Atlanta Falcons, we know that this game is going to be a shootout. We've actually had Jameis Winston put up some very impressive performances against the Atlanta Falcons throughout his entire NFL career. And it does not matter that he's going to be a bad quarterback for the New Orleans Saints compared to Drew Brees. He's going to be turning over the ball. He's going to be trying to be aggressive in pushing it down the field. What I think that ends up doing is I think it ends up causing the New Orleans Saints to increase their pass attempts throughout the game, just because their defense is going to be put in bad situations where we know that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be able to come out here and put points on the board against the New Orleans Saints, where they really can't slow it down. They cannot run the ball with Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara. We have a good idea of what Jameis Winston is, and he's going to be that D-gap quarterback like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is going to just be non-stop chunking the ball down the field, leading to interceptions, leading to turnovers. And it does not matter though. Jameis Winston led the NFL in passing yards in 2019. His clear top option is going to be Michael Thomas in week 11. I am not fading this whatsoever. I think Michael Thomas is a top 10 wide receiver this week. Please, I know it's frustrating, but do not take him out of your lineup. Okay, so now our next wide receiver that we are going to be going with is going to be someone that we've loved all season, Justin Jefferson. Guys, Jefferson has fully emerged as the alpha wide receiver in Minnesota. I know that a lot of people want to look at Adam Thielen's past performance where he saw 2 touchdowns and say that Adam Thielen's still the wide receiver 1 there. No, you cannot do that. You have to look at ever since Justin Jefferson broke out in week 3, what the target distribution has been in this offense, and it has been the Justin Jefferson show. I mean, he has a ceiling that is just unmatched in fantasy football right now. He's actually putting up the most efficient NFL rookie wide receiver season of all time. He's doing this at 21 years old. And honestly, if you look at weeks 3 through 10, he's put up the most efficient wide receiver season of all time, not even just rookie. Unreal what we are seeing from Justin Jefferson. It looks like he could truly be an elite talent at the NFL level for the next decade. This week he is going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Clearly not worried about the matchup in the slightest. I think Jefferson is going to be productive even when it's a complete Dalvin Cook game where Dalvin Cook is touching the ball 30 times It does not matter. Justin Jefferson is so good. I don't care if he's only getting 6 targets. He's going to provide you some production, especially when the defense is extremely soft. So the wide receiver talent is too strong here. Justin Jefferson is going to be a high-end wide receiver 2 for us, and just so hard to get away from putting in our starting lineup. Okay, now our next wide receiver, someone in a very similar boat, someone else that I said was the wide receiver 1 for his NFL team, and I got a ton of pushback this past week. Now all the haters are silent going into week 11 because of his week 10 performance. But T. Higgins, guys, T. Higgins, another rookie wide receiver at 21 years old who has completely emerged. This just speaks to the fact that this is the best rookie wide receiver class that we have ever seen. Y'all know that I am a massive, massive fan of that 2014 class where we did have Odell, we had Sammy Watkins, we had Allen Robinson, we had Brandon Cooks, we had Jordan Matthews. I mean, we had so many wide receivers in that class, guys, that I'm still missing. I mean, guys like Mike Evans too. That class was historic until the 2020 class came here, giving us so many talented wide receivers. I think that T. Higgins is clearly the wide receiver 1 for Cincinnati now. I'm not backing down from the matchup against the Washington football team in the slightest. I mean, T. Higgins is going to go. I don't care if Joe Burrow is going to be under pressure. We know he's going to drop back a significant amount of times. They are going to be airing it out. T. Higgins is the wide receiver 1 in this offense. He has a ton of touchdown equity as well because that big frame he has, almost getting double-digit targets and went over 100 yards against one of the best defenses in the entire NFL in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think T. Higgins is now a must-start wide receiver for us every single week. Okay, now our next wide receiver, someone that actually had a very down week in week 10, Will Fuller. I'm not worried about Will Fuller in the slightest, guys. Will Fuller has maintained a consistent 25% target share in the Houston Texans offense without Deshaun Watson there. I mean, he is getting an elite level usage, and at the same time, if you look at his career efficiency marks, really it's hard for any wide receiver to compete with Will Fuller. Coming off a game where he saw almost double-digit targets, the problem was the wind was just out of control in Cleveland. So clearly the Houston Texans were not able to move the ball in the slightest. I know a lot of people are going to be worried about the matchup against the New England Patriots. Personally, I am not, because I've said this so many times, guys. But with players like Will Fuller, DK Metcalf, I mean, generally, we are going to be overvaluing those cornerback matchups if you look at what they can do historically. I know this is coming off a very bad example week where DK Metcalf got shut down against Jalen Ramsey, but historically, we actually see those top cornerbacks really be able to shut down the prototypical alpha X wide receivers that create their production through separation with route running like Amari Cooper. But those speed guys that can just get one play and completely kill their opponent in fantasy football like Will Fuller, I'm not going to be worried about starting them. Yes, they may see a few less targets, but overall the efficiency will be there. They only have to get behind the quarterback one time to make a big play and completely change your week. So with Will Fuller, I am not shying away from him being at the very least a wide receiver 2 this week. Okay, so now our last wide receiver, someone that a lot of people are down on, but I just don't understand why. Robby Anderson, coming off a week where, yes, he was very disappointing, but honestly, for me with Robby Anderson, it really does not matter. He's averaging over 8 targets a game right now, and we are seeing Curtis Samuel or DJ Moore pretty much just alternate in popping as the Carolina Panthers' top wide receiver option in points. But if you look at where the opportunity is, if you look at where the consistency is, that is actually lying with Robby Anderson, who's been the top target option almost every single week for the Carolina Panthers. And really, there's been no volatility with him whatsoever. Now, this matchup against the Detroit Lions, I think, has some sneaky shootout potential, as we can end up seeing Matthew Stafford, Kenny Golladay, and DeAndre Swift put points up on the board and make Teddy Bridgewater air the ball out. And with no Christian McCaffrey, I think that they are going to be heavily utilizing those wide receivers in DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robby Anderson. And while it's very hard to predict who is going to perform between Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore in this offense on a week-to-week basis, just because they are so volatile with their usage, we cannot say the same thing about Robby Anderson, who looks like a stone-cold lock, someone that I need in my starting lineup against the Detroit Lions. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, please make sure you go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And I will be live streaming tonight at 9 p.m. Central, as well as Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central as well, and Sunday morning. Y'all know we live stream more than any other fantasy football channel you're going to find on YouTube.